The Lakers just wrapped up a 5-game road trip and host the Jazz on Tuesday. For more, we bring in ESPN NBA insider Shams Charania. Shams, you reported over the weekend that James was officially reassigned back to the Lakers from the NBA G League affiliate in South Bay. Practice is going to be wrapping up here soon. What is the latest on LeBron's timeline?
George, a source just told me moments ago that LeBron James is looking good at practice today at the Lakers facility. He could return as soon as Tuesday's home game against the Jazz or Sunday in Utah, or if he wants to be cautious and patient, next Tuesday against the Clippers. It's really just going to be predicated how he feels coming out of practice today, the next day, the rest of this week potentially. He's going to want to be smart and calculated. We know that's how he's been throughout his career with his body. And so whenever he plays, we know he's going to be cleared. Could he use more caution to be ready later this week or next week? Potentially, and get more practice time. One thing I have heard consistently over the last several days is LeBron James is motivated and eager to get back out on the floor for the Lakers. He's seen this start that the Lakers are on, and he's excited about this team, I'm told, and the camaraderie that he knows he's coming back to with this unit led by Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves, DeAndre Ayton, and Rui Hachimura.
Shams, great stuff as always, man. Always appreciate the insight. All right, well, listen. We'll have lots more in regards to the Lakers and LeBron coming up here in just a moment. We'll be hearing from the team. We'll see who speaks. I'm George Sedano, in for Malika Andrews, joined by a trio of senior writers here, Ramona Shelburne, David Dennis Jr., and the Hall of Famer Mark Spears. All right, we've had a handful of really special nights already in the NBA, and yesterday was just another one of those. Yeah. So if you missed it for some reason or another, let's get into it. KD and the Rockets looking pretty darn good, taking on the Magic. We'll start in the fourth quarter, 27 seconds left. Durant crosses up Wendell Carter Jr., knocks down the three. Durant coming in clutch. Next Rockets possession. Şengün on the inbounds pass. Durant slips. Anthony Black now picks it up. He goes coast to coast for the dunk and the foul by Şengün. A disastrous play.
You know, I thought the game was going to be over after this one.
So there's Black with the finish. Now Black at the free throw line. Check this out. He misses the free throw. Jabari Smith Jr. gets the rebound. They call timeout.
Poor Magic, man. They've been great without Paolo.
1.4 seconds left. Şengün with the inbound. Gets the jumper there. He has 30 and 12. We're headed to overtime.
I mean, how did we get here? Like, Orlando's winning that game the whole time.
Yeah. A minute left in OT. Rockets trail by one. Durant on the drive. Finds Amen Thompson backdoor for the dunk.
Somebody's sleeping. Where did he come from?
Following Rockets possession, 20 seconds left. Durant, he's got Tristan da Silva, and he's like, no, get out of here. I don't need this screen. I got this man, okay? He drives, pull up, barbecue chicken. Durant, 35 points. Rockets go on to win by 4. Here's KD after the game.
Everybody came in and contributed, man. It was some big minutes, big plays. I'll be with the big hook shot to go into overtime, man. So,
Not safe for work language with our friend Vanessa Richardson there and KD and Şengün. All right, the Rockets have the #1 offense behind KD and Şengün. By the way, also #1 ISOs, I might add, as you saw at the end there. Mark, how good has this duo of Şengün and KD been?
You know, there's only a few teams that have unstoppable offensive players, right? You could agree with me. Luka,
Yeah.
SGA, Joker, Curry, to name a few.
Steph Curry.
How many teams have 2?
Yeah, not
The
many.
Rockets have 2. We know what KD is. If he misses a shot, it's his fault. It's not your defense, right? But Şengün has now put himself in a position to be an unstoppable player. He's added a 3. He's shooting 65% in the post. He leads the team in assists per game. And you know what? With his improvement, with the addition of KD, name a better duo in the league. I'm listening. There isn't one.
David, what do you think?
Ooh.
Well, first of all, I got a problem with the Şengün and Durant stealing me and Mark's celebration that we do. That's how we hug after every show. But I do have a gripe with Mark a little bit about this. I'll be a little spoon. But if we're talking about duos, though, Jokic and Gordon, SGA and J-Dub may have something to say about the best duos in the league. But with all that said, the Rockets are doing the thing that was missing early in the season. They were 1-3 in close games. You wonder if that's missing Fred VanVleet, if there's something wrong with them in the clutch. Now they've kind of fixed the right of the ship a little bit. Against Milwaukee last night, against Orlando, they are now plus 20 in the clutch. This is what this team has been missing. That is Şengün getting in the paint. That is him getting the ball to KD. That is Amen Thompson coming in the dunker spot and finishing in these clutch moments. That is what this team is going to need come playoff time with the. There is one thing I am going to flag about the Rockets. They lead the league in three-point shooting at 43%. Guys like Eason's at 50%. Okogie's at 40+%. I wonder how sustainable that is and what they'll need to do to make that up. But otherwise, this is much better start than I thought from this team.
Look, Kevin Durant has the lowest usage percentage of his career, and he's about to go 50-49. He's close. He's right now, he's 51-40 and 88.8. Okay? Lowest usage rate and hyper efficient. And they're not even as good as they're going to be. They're still learning how to play together. Oklahoma City's up here. Denver's probably right a notch below. But the Rockets are still figuring it out, and they're not even as good as they're going to be.
Yeah, super dangerous if you are looking at the Western Conference to see how the Rockets are playing. And to Ramona's point, the ceiling can still go a little bit there. All right, let's get on to the Mavericks. They entered the night with 3 straight losses. Cooper Flag put the team on his back last night against the Blazers. There's AD in his Packer jersey. There's Coop. Let's start in the third quarter. Blazers leading 75-67. Cooper Flag gets the steal here. Watch this. Behind the back.
Hello.
Hey.
Euro coast-to-coast finish.
How old is he?
Woo. 18.
And 366 days, I believe, something like that.
I mean,
That's unbelievable stuff. All right, now let's shift over to the fourth quarter. Blazers lead by 2 now. Off the inbounds, Cooper Flag gets the float game. 2 guys get on him. He's like, nah, I'll get 1. He ties the game at 117.
this is close to a must-win game for Dallas with the way their season's been going.
Let's go to overtime. Tied at 123 off the inbounds here. Again, Flag working inside. Another floater off the back rim. Mavs up 2. 2 minutes to play in OT. Flag backing down Denny Advia.
Wow.
Jumper is good.
Not bad defense.
Mavericks up 2. A minute and a half later in OT. Mavs lead by 1. Shaedon Sharpe will miss the 3. Flag gets the board. Look ahead to P.J. Washington for the finish. What a pass by Flag. Mavs go on to win 138-133. Cooper Flag's 19th birthday, since you asked, Mark, is still over a month away. And now he has 4 20-point games. That's tied with Kobe Bryant for second most before turning 19. Only LeBron James has more. Flag is one of just 5 players with multiple 20-point games before the age of 19. All right, so on the same day you get this type of performance from Cooper Flag, we also heard that Anthony Davis will miss another 7 to 10 days with his calf injury. So, Mark, what have you heard, though, about Kyrie?
You know, Mavs need some good news, right? Mavs fans?
Sure.
Kyrie's looking good. He's ahead of schedule. He's working out with the purpose of playing this season,
Okay.
which I'm sure Mavs fans are glad to hear. I think optimistic-wise, probably around late January, All-Star break, someone close to him told me that if it was the playoffs, he could play right now. That's ahead of schedule he is. But the problem is, like, who's running the show, right? What's their record going to be? Will Anthony Davis be back? I think by the time he's able to potentially come back in late January, there's going to be a collective decision from him, from the team, from everybody that's close to him on whether it's worth for him to come back or not. But I hear he wants to be back, and he's ready.
Just like Anthony Davis wants to be playing right now.
Yeah.
So, David, let me ask you, can they afford to wait?
I mean, I think they can afford to wait with Kyrie from the fact that there's been a sort of shift here with Dallas and the way we're looking at this. The way we looked at Cooper Flag, there was a lot of expectation because in light of the Luka trade and AD being there was this thought that this could be a playoff team. I don't see a playoff team, and Dallas has now admitted that the Luka trade was a mistake and kind of a disaster. And so now you can kind of reset and really analyze who this dude is as a rookie. I just do not see this team being competitive this year, even with Kyrie coming back, which means I think that they should really look at this Anthony Davis thing and what is the value of keeping him on this team or moving on past him come trade deadline. I think that they should look at this team as what they are, is a not great team with a possibly generational #1 pick and build this thing from the ground up. And that probably does not include somebody like AD on that team.
You know what they are? They're hurt. Anthony Davis isn't playing, Kyrie Irving's not playing, but they still have a lot of the pieces on this team outside of obviously Luka Doncic that went to the finals. They were very good last year when everybody was healthy, and even when Kyrie went out, they made some noise in that play-in tournament. And I think it's too soon to talk about trading Anthony Davis. I understand Cooper Flag is all that. How many ways can you say this is his team now? But in the way they've been using him and playing him, and how well he's played, but they still have Kyrie and Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
And let's see what this team looks like when they're healthy. Because right now, Anthony Davis, his trade value is probably the lowest you're going to find with how much money he's owed in his injury history. Why would you sell low on him when you obviously bought so high?
Yeah, you have to at least let him play it out for at least a little while just to increase his value some. I'm with you 100%. All right, still to come. Back against the Spurs last week became back-to-back Steph Curry masterclasses. Wednesday night, Steph put on a show, 46 points, taking over the second half and carrying Golden State past San Antonio. Just a pure Curry takeover. And it was only the beginning, because the next game, on Friday, Steph kept that wave rolling with a cool 49, including 31 in the second half, and a game-winning free throws to sweep the Spurs in San Antonio to top off an NBA Cup thriller. The Chef joined MJ as the only players with 35-plus and back-to-back 45-point games. But against New Orleans Sunday, the hot hand came from elsewhere. Steph only had 3 points in that first half. Moses Moody came out swinging, shooting 7 of 8 from 3. Moody joins Klay Thompson and Steph Curry as the only Warrior players to make 7+ threes in a single quarter.
And I don't know if the Warriors have had a better soldier over the years than him. He just never complains.
All right, now another story for Draymond. Herb Jones drives the lane. Draymond gets the foul here. And watch this. So Draymond gets into it here with a fan chirping at Draymond. Here's Draymond after the game about it.
It was a good joke at first, but thank you for calling me a woman. I look like a woman. Do I look like a woman?
She's a very good rebounder.
Yeah, for sure. But at least, Lisa Leslie was a good rebounder too. She older than me. So good.
So you see security came to talk to the gentleman there. Later in the third, Al Horford finds Steph for 3. Curry finished with 9 and 3. Warriors still win 124 to 106. All right, after a tough 24-point loss to OKC, this team, they took their next 3 games pretty seriously here. So, Mark, what's your takeaway from this stretch from the Warriors?
You know, a week ago, things looked pretty bad. The way they started on this road trip and the way the Warriors have played these past 3 games. I mean, obviously, Steph put on his cape in San Antonio, but those were 2 great wins. Typically, when you play a team like New Orleans, they're going to be in a high when, you know, you got a new coach coming in, and they figured that one out with a great team win. So I think this was, you know, with new pieces like Al and still trying to figure out their way without Kuminga, I think this was just a very good, great week mentally and for the Warriors.
You know, I was watching Steph's interview on Saturday night, because it was on Prime, when he was talking to the Amazon host, and he goes, look, we're not the only team that's had a really bad game in Oklahoma City. And it got me to remember how much these guys have been throughout this run. Steph, Draymond, they've been through these stretches before where they look terrible and it looks like the wheels are going to fall off, and no one panics. So turning it around and having 3 great games after having that trough and that terrible game in Oklahoma City, that it's not surprising, because these guys are such veterans.
David?
Yeah, I mean, this has been a really weird season already for the Warriors. They played like 10 road games already. They've beaten LA in LA. They've beaten the Nuggets. They've beaten these Spurs teams. They have inexplicable losses against Indiana and the Bucks. Steph gets sick. And then you go to San Antonio and you have what is the blueprint for the Warriors to believe they could beat anybody not named OKC, which is Draymond getting in Wemby's face and showing that he is equipped to defend anybody, including Victor Wembanyama. He forced a lot of turnovers when he was guarding him. Jimmy Butler was helping on those pick and rolls. Also, Steph went crazy. But this is how the Warriors win these big games. It is the intensity of somebody like Draymond in these situations, getting one of the, I think, 2 players to block Wemby all year. That is what this Warriors team is built on for all these last few years, and what they're going to use to sort of ride the wave after this crazy sort of road trip and early season stuff is over with. But one more thing about Draymond. It's okay if somebody compares you to Angel Reese. Like, she's a good player. You can take it as kind of a compliment as you get, getting rebounds and putbacks.
Yeah. The interaction, though, I mean, look, to Draymond's credit, You know what I mean? Like, you don't know what that person's going to do or say to you, but clearly you can tell that he took it in stride.
Courtney and security handled it good, too. Courtney the ref.
Oh, Courtney Kirkland? Yeah, I thought he did a good job. Yeah, and the security guy, yeah, for sure. All right, sticking with New Orleans, this was James Borrego's first game leading the Pelicans after the team fired Willie Green on Saturday after a 2-10 start, which was the worst in the league. Well, the league's worst offense, that is. Green had a win percentage of .440 through 5 seasons. Trey Murphy, though, had this message for fans on Saturday.
Maybe like the fans, obviously, they want to see a winner. You've been really passionate in the community. Is there like a message you can give them that maybe the best is yet to come, or that there's plenty of season left? I don't know, just what you would tell them.
And don't give up on us. That's my message. Don't give up on us. Still show us support. We could turn this thing around. It's a very long season, and like I said again, don't give up on us.
The Pelicans are heading into a new direction with the dismissal of Willie Green. But this next stretch for interim coach James Borrego, it's pretty tough. Ooh, look at this. Started with the Warriors, obviously, and followed up by the Thunder and Nuggets before back-to-back games against the Mavs and Hawks. So this team has a roster that's been riddled with injuries and, for 3 straight seasons, really, if you think about it. And no first-round pick this year, so the urgency is cranking up fast here. What do they do here, Mark?
Pray that Zion and DeJounte come back as soon as possible. I talked to Joe Dumars, and it certainly was a tough thing to do. He's known, Willie since he was a teenager. And he gave him patience, and then I think ultimately he wants the Pelicans to play tough basketball on both ends of the floor. That wasn't happening. And he brought in James Borrego, who's, a veteran in his own right as a coach, and he's pushing him to get that out of the Pelicans right now.
I mean, you just have to. You cannot have the worst record in the league. You can't give that first-round pick to Atlanta and have it be a top 5 pick. That's a disaster. And to me, I think you got to look and do whatever you can. Look, maybe you go try to upgrade the team. They have good pieces. DeJounte Murray's good. Zion Williamson, when he comes back, is healthy. And when he's healthy, he's good. Like, you got to almost look at what the Clippers have done the last few years, where they just had to give all their picks to Oklahoma City because of that Paul George trade a few years ago. You cannot just keep losing. You can't. You got to do it. Like, whether maybe you go trade for a veteran.
Yeah, but
maybe you bring somebody in so you don't end up in that spot.
And to your point, like, if you watch their home games, there's not a lot of people there. Even most recently with the Lakers, as you know.
But you got to have reason to go, right?
Again, that's the point. But even when the Lakers But the Lakers were in town recently, and you could get tickets easily, I was told. I know people that were at that game. So, all right, David, what do you think of this situation?
I mean, the best thing that the Pelicans can do is get all the top scientists they can and invent a time machine so they go back, get those draft picks they traded away inexplicably in the summer, because I don't know what you could do. It's not a franchise in the league right now that I would want to be less than the New Orleans Pelicans. This team is going to be bad for a long time, and you had options to have high picks, and they are gone. I'm not sure what Willie Green could have done with this roster, with the fact that Zion is hurt, with the fact that DeJounte Murray is hurt. I just do not understand what he could have possibly done better for this franchise or for this team as currently constructed.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't know if Willie Green should have been necessarily the fall guy, but I guess somebody had to be. And good luck to James Borrego moving forward. All right, an update. You're laughing, but it's true. An update on the Grizzlies today. Ja Morant suffered a grade 1 calf strain in Saturday's loss to the Cavs and will be reevaluated in approximately 2 weeks. So not good for that draft class, as Zion is 2-10 and Ja and his team struggling. Ja also dealing now with an injury. All right, still ahead. LeBron James is taking a key step, and the Lakers' picture could shift in a big way once he's back in the mix. See who spoke at practice today and what it means for their next stretch. That's coming up on NBA, the first 14 games of the season as he recovered from a sciatica injury. Here's LeBron James speaking right now.
On JJ joke that nice to have a new player back with the team. So what's this last month been like for you, just mentally and physically, hard as you ramp up for historic?
Yeah, it's just been kind of the same, revolving doors, just repetition, rehabbing. Just trying to get back to where I feel like myself again, and it's great to be out here today.
How are you feeling at this point after kind of unfold?
I mean, as expected. Obviously, my lungs feel like a newborn baby. That's the most important thing. I got to get my lungs back up to a grown man, and my voice is already gone. One day back barking out calls and assignments and stuff, and getting my voice working again. So be a lot of tea and rest tonight.
That feels good, though.
Yeah, it feels good. It feels good to be out here with the guys. Miss them.
What would be the deciding factor for you and your team on whether you play tomorrow night?
I mean, we got a long time. I mean, we've been taking literally 1 minute, 1 hour, one step at a time throughout this whole process. So, see how I feel this afternoon, see how I feel tonight. When I wake up in the morning, we probably have shoot around. So, just got to see how the body responds over the next 24 hours plus. Nah, AR is funny. AR is funny.
What was that experience like for you, and how was it
It was great. I mean, I appreciate the coaching staff and the players allowing me to, one, kind of, change the practice detail a little bit. They usually go at 11. I'm an early bird. I was like, can we go at 10? I wanted to go at like 8, but a little pull and tuck and pull. But it's very helpful. I mean, I could just go out there. That's the benefit of having a farm system, basically. The guys were gone on that long road trip. I got cleared to play some 5-on-5 for the first time since shit hurt my MCL versus Minnesota. And that was the blessing. It was here preparing for their games, and I got an opportunity to get a couple runs in with them, a couple practices in, so it was a blessing.
You've never started the season injured.
Yeah.
Before. What was that like mentally?
That sucks. It definitely sucks. Never in my life, since I started playing the game of basketball, have I ever not started the season in my life. So, it's been a mind test, but I'm built for it, and it's just been, putting in the work, both mentally and physically, just trying to get myself ready to rejoin the team.
This request
Yeah.
what did you kind of make of some of those moments? What did you see watching?
Seen a lot. I mean, obviously, the road trip went pretty good. It was a good way to end the road trip in Milwaukee. That back-to-back starting, in New Orleans. So those last 2 games was very key. But guys have just been like everyone enjoys being around each other and love playing for one another. A lot of guys sacrificing. So just for me, just seeing ways I can just fit in organically, right off the top. I know ways I can help this team right away when I am put back in the lineup.
How LeBron had a good ending while you were out?
You ever had it? Anybody ever had it?
What do you know about it before you?
I've had it. I had it 2 years ago. If you had it, then you know what the hell it's about. If you ain't never had it, and people making jokes about it, I pray you never get it. And it's not fun.
Did you have it during the season 2 years ago, or off?
No, off season.
LeBron, given your multi-skill resume,
Say it again, I'm sorry.
given your multi-skill resume and the makeup of the team, how similar or different do you expect your role this season to be compared to last season?
Don't matter. I'm a ball player. The best thing about me and the way I've built my game over my whole life, and my coaches since I was in Little League, I've never had a position. Spo always just say, positionless basketball, be positionless. It's not one team, one club in the world that I can't fit in and play for. I do everything on the floor, so whatever this team needs me to do, and more I can do it when I'm back to myself.
You mentioned just how chemistry has been,
Yeah.
and the vibes have been high. What's kind of been the dynamic between, you kind of getting back integrated with the guys, and has anything surprised you about
I got to work my way back into it. I mean, you guys have been doing road trips, shoot-arounds, been on flights, so I got to work my way back into the fold of things. So it's kind of like a kid going to a new school again, just kind of, got to learn the guys and everything. So they got some great chemistry, and I'm just, feel my way back in and do it organically. So it shouldn't be hard, but definitely it's going to be a fill-out process.
Even maybe pre-Statica, entering year 23.
Yeah.
40 years old. I can tell you all the other ways that you're surviving. But did you have different plans for yourself in terms of the way you were going to handle your body this year?
Yeah. During the season?
Yeah, like even in the build through the summer.
No, not for the season. No, it was only business as usual. Obviously, at this point, how many miles I got on my body as far as how long I've played, to not be on the court as much, kind of giving, everything to adjust. But I mean, I got a pretty bad MCL sprain against Minnesota, so I couldn't really do nothing for like 8 to 10 weeks anyways, as far as, on the court anyway. So that kind of set me back, and not too long after that, I started to feel, my hip and my back and things of that nature. So started going astray. So everything kind of changed. My whole dynamic kind of changed how I was going to prepare for the season. But it's all a blessing in disguise.
When did that process of getting to today to getting maybe on the cusp? When did it like really start? Like were you, you were doing individual stuff a little bit?
Yeah, like mid-June I started to feel that, I think like mid-June. Yeah, I think it was like mid-June.
Well, how long did that take free? Are you pain free?
I won't take it that far. Like I said, if you ever had it, you go about it, you wake up one day and you hope that when you step down into the bed, you don't feel it. You go to bed at night and hope when you get into bed, you don't feel it. So I've been doing pretty good with it as of late. There's a lot of exercises and a lot of mobility things and a lot of things that you can do to help it. So I'm just keeping a positive mindset about it all.
This time that you missed it, playing in games, being in the NBA, suiting up with your teammates, with the competition.
Right, there's these guys. Just seeing them going out there and working. I love the work. I love the process of working. I don't miss the travel. I'm about to be 41 years old. I was happy sitting at home, on my couch after working out and things of that nature. Yeah, but I don't miss the travel, but I definitely miss the competition. I miss these guys.
Last two.
Huh? Yeah, man. Yeah, it's tough.
The time that you spent with the G League team is obviously not something that you've gone through in your career before. Does it give you a different perspective or view on just what these guys go through in the career they're trying to carve out for themselves?
I didn't need to go down there to practice with them to understand and appreciate what they go through. I'm trying to get to the big leagues. It's a dream of all of ours, and no matter where you start, you're always trying to figure out a way how you can make a name for yourself in this part in the NBA. And those guys sacrifice every day. They come here and they work. They go in their games, they play, they prepare just like we do. With the hopes and the dreams of being called up someday. So, as much respect to not only our farm club, but to all the clubs that's around the league.
Last question.
Coming on how you go watch your day, how much film you watch. How was these last few weeks been for you in terms of watching film? Being able to digest what you've been seeing across the league and also what you've been able to see from Hayes, someone I know that you can find on the pocket pass.
Yeah, for sure. For me, just breaking down our team and seeing how well we've been playing both offensively and defensively for the majority of the season. I just love the ball movement, the dominance between Luka and AR kind of running the whole show. And then, DA just anchoring the back line, with his ability to set screens, one of the best screen setters we have in this league, but also making himself available either for pocket passes and a short jump shot that he has at 15 feet or getting lobs behind the basket, and then Jack's kind of backing him up. And then everybody else just kind of, Jake and Jake and Rui and Marcus and everybody, and Maxey big minutes, against Milwaukee. Some of the games that some of the guys were out, and you've seen Nick Smith and Bronny give production in that game in Portland, off a back-to-back, and everybody just when that guys' numbers been called, guys have been ready, and that's just straight professionalism. And but it's also like everybody enjoy competing for each other, and riding for each other. So I'm gonna leave Gabe out. Vando, Rook got his first points the other night. That was awesome. Shout out Giannis for getting the ball. I don't know, they was tripping. Yeah, that was just weird. That's just weird. There's a lot of weird shit going on these days. Shout out Rook getting his first points. And yeah, I know y'all miss me. Okay, bye.
All right, it's good to have the King back here. Now, J.J. Redick was asked before LeBron took the podium there, or with the gaggle of reporters, that it's TBD in regards to the game on Tuesday against the Jazz here in Los Angeles, that they'll wait to see how he feels after today. So when LeBron does get back on the court, Ramona, how do you expect him to fit in?
Well, if you're the Lakers, you could not be happier with everything he just said, because part of the best part of covering this league for as long as we have, and as long as LeBron's been around, everything has a reference point. He goes back to Spo, and he says it's positionless basketball. He said, I need to fit in. I need to feel my way back in. These guys have great chemistry. This is like the first day at a new school. I got to figure out what they've been doing. That is everything the Lakers want to hear, because they've been rolling, and he's been paying attention, and he realizes, okay, I'm not going to just come in and take over. I'm going to fit in, not fit out, like he used to say with Luka Doncic when he first came to the Lakers, and there's the Kevin Love reference to Cleveland. So I think that was exactly what you wanted to hear from LeBron James. He's just going to fit in wherever he can, because clearly he needs to get his win back, too. He said he had the lungs of a newborn baby.
Hall of Famer?
Lakers got first world problems.
Yeah.
You're adding arguably the greatest player of all time back to your lineup. You know, and Austin Reeves, he's going to have to get in the back seat probably a little bit. And I know LeBron's saying the nice things, and I'm going to fit in. It's LeBron James. Luka's going to be Luka. I think LeBron's going to be, you know, basically take over the second in scoring and shots. And,
He's not going to be a role player.
Austin Reeves is going to be, you know, this is his best season so far. So that's a scary trio. The guy I'm intrigued to see, George, we talk about him all the time.
DeAndre Ayton.
DeAndre
Are you going to be
Ayton,
dominating?
boy, how is he going to be with LeBron? The picks that he's going to set. Keep an eye on DeAndre Ayton.
David, how do you see LeBron's role?
So this may sound like a demotion, but I promise you it is not. And what I see LeBron James being is potentially Super Saiyan Draymond, is a guy that fits in on both sides of the court. And I think when you look at last year, the Lakers were at their best. Those first 10 games, right after Luka got there, they had the #1 defense in the league. And a lot of that was LeBron James getting in those passing lanes, guarding Jokic if he had to, doing all the stuff to muck up an opposing offense. Now, it was not sustainable in large part because LeBron James was also carrying such a large load offensively. Now, when you have Luka and Austin Reeves doing what they're doing offensively, LeBron James can rest a little bit, but also be a Draymond offensively. Set some of those screens. When he sets screens for Luka, they have one of the top offenses in the league. I expect to see a little bit more of that. Get some of those back cuts. Do some of those things that really confuse opposing defenses. So he's not exerting as much energy. He's fitting in offensively, and he's doing all the things that are necessary defensively that made them such a great team for those first few games when Luka got there. That, I think, is the formula for LeBron and the Lakers to be sustainable through playoff time.
Well, to your point, David, they're a bottom third team defensively. And last year, there was a specific inflection point where he became the best defender, which was they got blown out in Miami by like 40-something points, one of the worst losses in Laker history, which says a lot because there's a long history there. and he turned the corner there and really led them defensively. So that'll be a role he's going to have to play on this team.